Iranian-made missiles on a boat was seized by a team of Navy SEALs during a risky nighttime operation in the Gulf of Aden last Thursday. It did not go smoothly. 2 of the SEALs are missing in action as we speak. Tonight, a search and rescue is underway for those men, continuing in part because the waters there are warm and the Pentagon believes the SEALs could still be alive.
I grew up in a very small town, Leopold, Missouri. Our population sign growing up said 69. So I grew up middle of nowhere. Mom and dad still live there. Grew up riding horses, grew up four-wheeling, grew up on driving tractors. Went all through high school there. Went off to college and played college softball. Then I went on to coach softball. I ended up joining the Highway Patrol, was a patrolman for a few years in Missouri. Whenever I decided I was going to get out of the patrol, I was like, okay, it's now or never for me to just try to be in the military. So I was like, I don't think I'll get in. I'll go ahead and try, just because I was 32 at the time. And the cutoff for the Navy is 33 without any waivers. I'm like, well, it's now or never. I'm going to try it. They let me in, and here I am today. Went to boot camp. You had your Alpha group, your Bravo group, and your Charlie group. Me being older, I was put on into a lot of responsibility because I'd lived life. I've done that kind of stuff. So I was the one that basically ran the Bravo group. Somebody messes up, and then guess what? You get to pay for it. It's one team, one fight, and that's what you make it through and push each other to try to be better, try to fix each other. You're a team whenever you're there. You're a team mentality whenever you come out. If you go into it without a team mentality, like, okay, well, I'm not going to mess up, but somebody else is going to mess up. Why do I have to pay for it? That's not how the military is structured whatsoever. Right out of boot camp, I went to a 6-month sea school down in Fort Gordon, Georgia. I was supposed to go overseas. They didn't have any orders available for my actual sea school, so they sent me here to San Diego, to North Island. I ended up getting orders to TCC 1, Tactical Communications 1, and then I was there for 5 years, to where I was transferring back and forth from TCC to SEAL Team 3. I had to go through SEER training, which that one's rough. So much worse than boot camp by any means, because it's basically they're training you to be captured and what to do, what you can and can't do. You'll get slapped for no reason, because especially being a female going through some school like that, a lot of times the males, they'll find something the males did and they'll find the nearest female. There was only 3 females in my class that went through it, so I got slapped a lot and seen stars a lot. Some people don't make it through, and each time you're doing it, you're just like, okay, I have to do this and I have to survive now. And mentally it's just like, okay, just make it through. But with SEAL Team 3, I ran all their communications and set up all their networks downrange. If your comms go down, you're alone and afraid. You have no way to reach back and tell anybody you're in trouble, you're good, you're here, you're there. Like, you're literally just out there, and if you put something overhead to try to find them, it's just luck of the draw. It's a huge world out there. So without communications to be able to tell where you're at, where you're going to be, where you're going, what you got into, what you saw, it's a very difficult job to do no matter what. Last deployment, we got into stuff. We actually lost a couple of our guys, which was very, very hard on most everybody in the community.
On January 11th, Navy SEALs Christopher Chambers and Nathan Gage Ingram were reported missing at sea during a seizure of Iranian-built weapons headed to resupply Houthi forces in Yemen. Ingram fell overboard, and per protocol, Chambers followed suit to rescue his teammate. After a 10-day search for the pair, the Navy released their names to the public and pronounced them dead.
It's an ongoing battle as of right now, is getting all weapons away from the Houthis and trying to protect everybody. Literally, the whole time we were deployed, we're shooting at any kind of U.S. ship. Sometimes it's not on the news because they don't report it because it's happening daily, shooting at U.S. ships. The good thing about my path is that coming from a SEAL team to the Special Boat Team 12 is that now I'm working with the crafts or the boats that the SEAL Team 3 actually use to do their missions. On the crafts, they have 50 cals, and then each person will, especially if they have SEALs on board, they will carry their own personal weapons. The boats that we have are very quick boats. Everything's made special on these boats for us. These are on the CCMs, and there's an air ride system, so they're going over choppy water. You're always constantly bounding. The thing about the boat team is every time they go out, it's almost, if they're in any kind of choppy water, it's almost like they're in a car crash every time they go out because there's so much impact. Everybody on the boat has a job. Even though there's not very many crew members on there, everybody has jobs. There's a comms dude there's a JTAC, there's a boat driver, there's a navigator. You know, they all have their own jobs, and every job is so important. I see my job, like my comms, I literally work with the guys that are going out and doing any kind of missions or exercises. And I see my job make or break that. If it's a small thing for me, if it's a small thing for a boat, if it's a small thing for the Army, everything works together, and those small things add up and make the biggest difference of how our military is able to protect everything that we enjoy. Being in a male-dominated area doesn't mean that a female can't do the job. I move a lot of equipment, heavier equipment, but again, that's why we train. That's why we have to be physically active and in decent shape. Every military branch has their own special warfare. You can be whatever you want now as a female, which is great. Military is a lot of being on time, being where you're supposed to be, and then you just never quit, right? And that doesn't matter what it is. And that you can use that in life. You will get so much farther in life if you are where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, and you don't quit. Being military, you have so many opportunities. Like, you can do anything from IT to working on heavy equipment to intel. You're trying to track down what other countries are doing and trying to figure out what they're going to do next. You have endless opportunities. You can be pretty much anything you want to be in the military. You're going to get hell going through it, but everybody gets hell going through it, right? Because that's what they're made to do. You have to be the best of the best. I'm very proud to serve in the military. I'm very proud to represent the United States no matter what I do. I play all Navy softball, so I get to represent the entire Navy if I'm not deployed. I'm always proud to represent something that's bigger than me.